Hi, I wanted to talk about my two Platinum 3776s. So these ones in particular are vintage pens because they have the 18 karat nib. So they usually the Platinum 3776 comes with a 14 karat nib, which I have in these two, the kingyo and the sakura. You can find the goldfish, the kingyo one, with 18 karat as well. I've seen some, but the sakura is a new design, so that one I think only comes in 14 karat. So the difference, first of all, the pen body difference is noticeable as well. Like these do look, especially the tortoise looks like a vintage pen. But here's the difference between the two nibs as well. So you have some scroll work on the 18 karat. Of course, it's 18 karat versus the 14. And on the 18 karat vintage pen, it's written in a Japanese character, whereas on the new 14 karat, it's written with the Roman English. It's written F, and then this one is the broad. So there's no heart either. It's a regular circular hole, but there's the heart window on the nib. So these are the differences. The length is same in terms of the writing parts. It's the same, and the threads are at the same height, and the gold hardware is also pretty much same. The main is definitely going to be how it writes. There is some difference in the feed. The 18 karat is a bit more circular, whereas the 14 karat is a triangle. Okay, those are the differences. I'll do a writing difference and see if there is, because I have my kingyo in medium, and I have my Calico vintage in medium, so we can compare the 18 karat versus 14 karat. But I have this in fine, and then this is broad, so no comparison there.
Okay, to do what I just did, you need to align both converters and then make sure that they're really aligned well, because if you don't, there can be some spillage. Then you suck the ink into the new converter, so this one will be the platinum one. I also just got really lucky in that they both have similar diameters opening. Otherwise, this wouldn't work if the converters are of different sizes. Then you have to like dump one in and then fill it back up.
Ooh, that was a successful transfer. Wow, I was scared about that, but that was pretty easy actually. Okay, let's put her inside, and I'll leave her upside down for a little bit. If you don't want to wait for too long, usually I plunge some into the feed until you can see, yeah, there she is. There's a drop of ink. Now I'll let her sit upside down for 5 minutes. Okay, let's get started. Oh, it's not in the feed yet. Let's see if I can plunge it out. So the ink that I shifted into this pen was the Montblanc cinnamon scented ink. I don't know if you can still get it. I got mine off of Facebook Marketplace. There we go. Oh, that's gushing, but in a good way. It's a really good line. It is broad again, so it will write broad and it will be wet. If you have any dry inks, they will do well in this sort of pen. You can smell the cinnamon, like in the ink, if you put your nose right next to the nib or the page, but you can't smell it as you're writing it. But ooh, this is a really good color for the pen, isn't it? I think it matches it really well. But here's what it looks like.
I was really concentrating while writing, so I didn't talk through this section. But even when I was writing, I noticed how the ink was glistening over the paper. And this Muji paper isn't particularly smooth like the Tome River paper is. So on the Tome River, it's probably going to just glide all over. Like it's going to be very smooth. And even though this ink is a smooth wet ink, it still dries really fast. As you can see, in just 10 seconds, my writing has dried. So there's no smudging on paper either. It's just a really good solid brown ink, easily readable, and it still shows up brown. Like it doesn't blend into black. It's a solid mid-tone brown with cinnamon scent. And another thing I wanted to try out was that I wanted to see how it looks on Tome River because the Muji notebook isn't like smooth coated as the Tome River is. And it's the Muji notebook is more closer to the Midori paper, if you're familiar with that. So I wanted to see how slippy it is on the coated paper. So I start with just coloring in, and it really was just gliding all over the page. Tome River paper is also notorious for really long lasting dry time since again, yeah, it's coated. So it takes like 45 seconds for half a page to dry as compared to like regular notebooks. But surprisingly, that was not the case with this ink. So overall, this ink is a really good brown. At first, I wasn't convinced, but I think I was just against Montblanc. Because I do have two of their inks. I also have the Jane Austen ink, which is another cool ink. But as you can see, I'm trying to smudge the sample and neither is smudging. So this is great for you fast writers and you lefties. It'll dry fast, even on Tome River. Okay, let's start with the Calico. Here she is. This was the one I was really looking forward to because I love cats. So, you know, I will be getting a pen called the Calico. Never had a Calico, had a Torty and a Gravy, but this is the Calico I have now.
Okay, for this pen, I'm going to ink it with the Endless Alchemy Mystic Forest ink. Because recently I saw a video of Freya, my bad. I saw a video of Freya, the cat, the calico cat. I think she's a Norwegian forest cat in the greenery. So that kind of inspired me. So I'm going to put a green ink in this. And it's called Mystic Forest, which matches the vibe. So let's open her up and I'm going to ink her. So I have a sample of it. I got this from Pulp Pens. They give you like a 2 milliliter sample, I believe. This is what it's going to look like.
Okay, let's get started. Here's the writing sample. So I chose this ink because I already know how it performs. The Endless Alchemy inks are really good on most fountain pens. They don't creep into the nib like the Lamy inks do, or they're not super dry like Diamond Registrar's Blue Black was. It's a really good flowing ink. So one thing is that this pen doesn't flex. Like you can put a little pressure, it won't break the nib or anything, but you get the line width that you get. Like it's medium and that's what it is. It's not going to be broad. It's going to stay the medium that it is.
Okay, that was the Mystic Forest. And here I have my new platinum inked with Wizard's pencil from the same set. So the inks perform pretty much the same. So I think this is going to give a good base. It's going to give a good baseline for comparison, since this is also a medium. So the difference is in the feel of writing with it. The new pen, that is the 14 karat nib, is a lot firmer and it has a nice feedback to it. I really love how it writes. Whereas the vintage 18 karat pen doesn't really have any feedback to it and it writes a lot, I don't know, maybe a little bit bouncier. Let's see. Yeah, it glides a lot more on the paper. Let's see. And then this one is a lot firmer and there's a nice feedback that you can hear. Let me try both hands at the same time. I am a righty, as you can clearly tell, but this 14 karat is a lot firmer in my hand than the 18 karat calico. But the line width seems to be comparable. So they're both medium and they write like a medium. I know Platinum is a Japanese brand and usually Japanese brands nib width is, they write one step down from Western brands, but I don't think the Platinum comes under that because Platinum's medium is a true medium. Like it's not too thin. It writes like a proper medium and I love that. I love this medium. If anything, my Banu writes maybe a little bit thinner than the Platinum mediums that I have. Let me see. Here's my Banu in medium as well. Oh, no, it's comparable. I have this inked with Poussière de Lune, in case you're wondering. Yeah. It is a little bit scratchier than these two. The Banu is a little bit scratchier than my two Platinums, I would say. But it is a steel nib pen. And here, let me show all the nibs. So here we have steel 14 karat and 18 karat. And then here's the difference. Overall, I think I really love this 18 karat. Obviously, I need to write with it more. I have been writing multiple pages with this. I've inked this 4 times so far, so I'm well familiar with this. I need to get more familiar with my vintage pen and then I'll give a more thought out review. And here's a sample with the fine nib in case you're wondering. It's 2 step downs from the medium, I would say, right? Like at least, or 1.5, you know? The medium writes like a true medium, but the fine is a Japanese fine. So yeah, these are all my Platinums. See you in the next one. Bye bye.